Listen to how do Earth and the Moon interact. First, look here. What is that? Anyone? Yes, it is the Moon. And the planet Earth has only one moon that revolves around it. If you look to the moon, it seems shiny, but actually it is a dark body. Yes, moon is a dark body that revolves around the Earth and reflects the sunlight falling on its surface, so it seems shiny. So moon is a dark body and it reflects the sunlight. For that it looks like shiny body, but actually it is a dark body. Now look at this picture. Here there are different shapes of the moon and we call these shapes as moon phases. So moon phases are the different shapes that the moon seems to have in the sky when it's observed from the Earth. But why the moon takes all these phases? These phases depends on how much of the sun rays lights the side of the moon. How much of the sun rays lights the side of the moon. And the moon changes its phases again and again by a cycle we called it lunar cycle. Lunar cycle is the pattern of phases of the moon, or it is how the phases of the moon are changed. Actually, the moon goes through its phases every 29.5 days. So the moon changed its phases every 29.5 days. During the lunar cycle, here, the moon changed its phases. I will start from here. We call this shape or this phase as a first quarter. In the first quarter, the moon look like half a circle and the light part be in the right side here. Then the light part getting bigger and we say the moon here is waxing. What's the meaning of waxing? Waxing means that it is getting brightening, more brightening. After that, the moon will be shiny and look a whole circle and we called it full moon. Then the light part here of the moon getting to be smaller and the moon here we say that the moon is waning. The moon here is waning. What's the meaning of waning? It means that the brightening part it's become smaller. This phase we called it third quarter. In the third quarter, the right part will be dark and the left part will be shiny. The light part keep waning and waning or be smaller and we call this shape as crescent moon. This is a crescent moon. Also, the light part becomes smaller and smaller till we has this phase of the moon. It is a new moon. Crescent moon here appears 2 times. It happens just before and after the new moon. During the crescent, the edge of the light part can be seen and this circle repeats over again and again.
Our topic for today is phases of moon. The moon revolves around the Earth in a fixed orbit. The moon does not have its own light. Sun gives light to the moon. When the moon is between the Earth and the Sun, we cannot see the moon at all. This is because the side of the moon facing the Earth does not get sunlight. This is called the new moon. After 2 to 3 days, we can see some part of the moon. This phase is called the waxing crescent. As the moon is gaining light, that is, expanding in illumination, we use the term waxing. About a week after the new moon, we can see half of the moon. This phase is called first quarter. Two or 3 days after the first quarter, more than half of the moon is visible. This phase is called the waxing gibbous. About 2 weeks after the new moon, we can see the full moon. This is because the full side of the moon facing the Earth gets sunlight. Now, the moon begins its return journey from the full moon to the new moon. The next phase is called the waning gibbous. As the moon is now losing light, that is, decreasing in illumination, we use the term waning. The next phase is the last quarter, followed by the waning crescent. When the moon comes back between the Earth and the Sun, it enters the new moon phase again. Number of days between 2 new moons is 29, as the moon takes approximately 29 days to revolve once around the Earth. These changing shapes of the moon are called phases of the moon.